Good evening. When I was growing up, I remember a commercial that I thought was iconic because I heard it over and over and over again. I believe it was for Men's Warehouse, and the older middle-aged gentleman with the salt and pepper beard and the deep voice would say, "You'll like the way you look. I guarantee it." Parashat Tetzaveh talks a lot about the different types of clothing that the Kohanim and the Kohen Gadol, the priest and the high priest, respectively, would be wearing as part of their temple service. And when the idea is introduced in chapter 28, verse 2 of our parsha, there's a very interesting turn of phrase. Hashem tells the Jewish people, "Va'asisa bigdei kodesh," and you will make these holy garments, la'aron achicha, for Aaron your brother, specifically referring to Moshe, l'chavod, for honor, ul'sefaris, and for glory. A few psukim later, you have the same phrase, "V'asus bigdei Aaron, l'kadsho, to sanctify him, l'chahanoli, to serve for me." So in the first instance, what does it mean, l'chavod ul'sefaris? To honor and to glorify. Who is the subject of this honor and this glory? The Sforno, a medieval biblical commentator, said that whose honor? It's for Hashem's honor. That with these bigdei kahuna, with these priestly garments, it gives honor to Hashem, that the Kohen is dressed as such. Some of the other commentators point out that the garb in which the Kohen and Kohen Gadol would be dressed was akin to the royalties' garments of their time, in a very similar style, a very regal one. And if you can imagine what this would look like, you can see that how the turban the Kohen would wear, the headpiece that he'd wear, the breastplate that he'd wear, the special, as Rashi describes, almost like an apron that would go around the Kohen Gadol. We can imagine this was a very dignified type of garment. So, l'sefaris, what's the glory? What's the subject of that? It's to glorify Hashem, because the clothes of the Kohen would inspire awe in those who would witness the Kohen serving in the temple dressed in such a fashion. And it reminds us a little bit what the Kohen's job, what his role was in the Holy Temple and the Beis HaMikdash in Israel, and in the tabernacle, in the Mishkan, in the wilderness and in the early years when the Jewish people were settling the land of Israel. That the Kohen's service was designed to inspire those who had witnessed it and to bring the Jewish people close to Hashem. And we'll talk about this theme in the book of Leviticus and in Sefer Vayikra when we discuss the idea of the individual offerings that Jewish people would bring in various circumstances. But every aspect of the service in the temple was carefully thought out and carefully planned out by the Almighty, and the details are not arbitrary. And it's important to understand that when the Kohen would be serving, he would need to keep this in mind. You know, we have the Olympics going on currently in Beijing. So in my head, I've always wondered, what would it be like if you could witness the service in the temple with Al Michaels on color commentary? And for the Kohen Gadol, he takes the sacrificial pieces, and he's running up the ramp. You know, I haven't seen someone run this fast since Jeff 5 years ago. You know, on the holiday of Shavuos, right? And man, could he run with those loaves of bread. You know, let's go back to and watch on the replay. And it's comical to think about such an image. And at the same time, it's like utterly ridiculous. Because the whole point of the Beis HaMikdash and the temple service was not designed to entertain. It had a holy, dignified function, purpose, and form. The Kabbalah L'Sefaris reminds us, and specifically reminds the Kohen, that we all have a role to play. The Kohen's garb was designed to remind him of the dignity, of the honor that his service was supposed to bring to Hashem, that he shouldn't have in mind that he should be grabbing attention. But his intent should be that he is serving the Almighty and trying to inspire those around him. The Kabbalah Sifaris is also a point used by the rabbis in Maseches Megillah on folio 12a that alludes to the fact that Achashverosh, at his infamous party, wore the clothes of the Kohen Gadol. And they used the implements from the temple for the banquet. And the Gemara indicates this was a tremendous tragedy and a big disgrace to the holy temple artifacts. The bigger deal is not that these items were misappropriated, although that was a problem in and of itself. It wasn't that they were used in a place that they weren't supposed to be. It was the manner and the purpose that was going on when Achashverosh wore it. He wore it to show off. And that is the exact opposite of the purpose. The purpose of these garments was to glorify Hashem and to inspire those around the Kohen, those he was discharging their offering for, the individuals, and for the Jewish people as a whole. So I think it's something that's worth reflecting on. L'kavod u'l'sifares. That in life, an aspect that should go into how we are living and how we are making decisions is, who is this for? Is this only for me, or is this for other people? How is this going to make God look? And how is this going to inspire and help other people to grow closer to Him? If the answer to any of those questions is, well, it kind of does, it kind of doesn't, that's one thing. But if it doesn't at all, then I think it's something that the clothing of the Kohen Gadol and the Kohen Hedjot, the regular Kohen, should teach us, that maybe we should refrain from doing it and think about something else. Have a great day.